This is the POCO F3. It's the successor to the POCO F2 Pro from last year and the POCO F1 that was released back in 2018, which was a flagship killer. The question is the POCO F3 a flagship killer? So let's head over to the full review. I'm not going to do the unboxing, but I'll show you what comes in the box. So this is the phone. This is a POCO F3. We have the blue color with us here. We also have the power. This is the charging cable with the red accent. We also have the 33 watts fast charger. Here it is the charger. You can see that the maximum is 33 watts. You can see there. Let me focus. It's a quick charger, and also it just supports power delivery 3 plus, and it also supports quick charge. Qualcomm Quick Charge 3 4.0. So you can use it to charge your laptop and other smart devices. So it's good for that. The other thing that came in the box was this plastic or this transparent case, this one, and also we had some documentation which I'm going to show you briefly here. So these are the documentation that we have, and the SIM ejector tool. And of course, we have the dongle here because the phone does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack. Yes, it does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack. You can see there is no headphone jack. So I'm going to do the review. I've been using this phone for over a month now, almost 2 months. So I'm going to do the full review of it, and at the end of it to answer the question that I was asking, that is it a flagship killer? So let's find out in my full review. So as you can see, the phone here, it has a side mounted fingerprint scanner, and as you can see, it's very fast, very fast and responsive. Again, it has a very fast side mounted fingerprint scanner. You see it's mounted here on the power button. These are the volume lockers. On top here you have the second speaker, and also the IR blaster that can be used to control other smart devices like TV. And on this side you have nothing, and on at the bottom you have the Type-C charging cable, and you have the SIM tray that houses two nano SIMs. There is no an option for an expandable slot, which might be a bummer for most people. And of course there is no headphone jack, and the one SIM card can support 5G, and the other one will be on 4G. And this one is the first microphone here, and in total we have around a total of 3 microphones, and this is the main speaker. So we have stereo speakers. So on the front you have this 20 megapixel front camera, this one housed here, and then at the back you have the 48 megapixel camera, you have the 8 megapixel ultra wide, and then you have the 5 megapixel macro camera, and this one is a LED flash, and this one is a sensor. So the phone has a lot to pack in. So I'll have the specs on this side here. So the first specs, which I may go very fast, is that it has the top of the line Snapdragon 870 chipset, is a overclocked version of last year flagship processor, the 865 plus. So it's among the best from Qualcomm. Actually, due to some of the heating issues that I've been experiencing with the 888 and 888 plus, this one is the best processor from Qualcomm, from raw power up to the performance. So this is among the best processor up there, and then the other specs are here for your reference. So let's start with the design and build. So this phone, on the front you have the Corning Gorilla Glass 5, so it's protection from scratch and resistance. And then at the back you also have it's also glass, and as you can see, it does not attract a lot of fingerprint. Actually, there is no fingerprint margins here, only a few here. And it's also Gorilla Glass 5. And then it has a 6.67 inch Super AMOLED screen with a 120 Hz refresh rate. So, and throughout this review, this phone has got several updates. It's on MIUI 12.5. Let me show you. So if we go to settings here, it's running on MIUI 12.5.4, so it's the latest. And also I have the 128GB version with 6GB of RAM. So all the review will be based on MIUI 12.5.4, which is the latest, so beware of that. And it has the Android security update of August 1st. So I'm liking the 120 Hz refresh rate. It's very invisible on the naked eye. You can see it. It's very, very invisible on the camera. But I'll tell you, there is a difference between a 60 and a 120 Hz. I've been saying there is no difference, but I tell you there is a difference. Let me introduce an old phone here. So this one is on a standard 60 Hz, but from my scrolling, there is a big difference. This one has 120 Hz refresh rate. It's very fluid. It's as smooth as butter. Everything from scrolling, allow the element is very fluid. And I've found myself addicted to 120 Hz, which is adaptive. So by adaptive, I mean that Xiaomi claims that it can adapt from 60, 90, and up to 120 depending on what you are doing. So as you can see, it's on 120 Hz refresh rate. And another thing is that there is an always on display here. There is an always on display here, and there is a lot of customizations here which you can tackle with. And as you can see, if I lock it, you see there is a clock there, and then some other information. And it also has the super live wallpaper that changes according to time, which is very good. I have liked it so much. So the other thing is that there is no LED notification, but you can opt for side light that makes the side blink when there is a notification, which is good about that. There is also stereo speakers, which I'm going to test right now. So let me load up some video and see how the speaker sounds like. So these are some of the videos, so let's test out. You can see it also has Dolby Atmos. So let me increase the volume. I'm liking the sound quality. So you can see some of the sound is coming from here and also from here. I can block here and see there is sound coming out of here, and I can block here and there is sound here. So as you can hear, the sound quality is very good due to stereo speakers. Stereo speakers is very important and very necessary, and I guess every smartphone should have that. The other thing that I have to mention, I said about the adaptive 120 Hz refresh rate. It's very fast. It's as smooth as butter, as you can see. Very smooth. It's almost very invisible on camera. But I'm liking the 120 Hz, and I cannot stop using it. I'm addicted to it. So the other thing that I'm going to say is that the apart from the 120 Hz refresh rate, it has 360 Hz touch sampling rate, and the screen has 395 ppi, and it's 1080 Full HD Plus Super AMOLED. Very good screen, very good quality screen, and I'm liking it very much. It also has HDR10 Plus, and also support Widevine L1 support, so you can watch HD Plus, Full HD Plus quality videos on Netflix, YouTube, and other sites. And the brightness is very good. I have no problem with the brightness, Xiaomi claims it can go up to 1,300 nits, which is good, but I have no problem with that, and it's very visible at the indoors, in the dark, and also in direct sunlight. The other thing that I'll mention is about the processor. It has top of the line, once again, top of the line Snapdragon 870 processor. I'm liking that processor. It's a very powerful processor, and nothing that you throw, everything that you throw at it, it will work on it. There is no problem with the processor. It's the best processor from Qualcomm, rather than the Snapdragon 888, which is a flagship. This one is the best. I'm liking it. I'm liking the processor, which is the best. There is nothing I can add about the processor. I'm trying to look at I made the Antutu benchmarks, and as you can see the results, it's on top of the line. You can see the results is very high. It's a flagship. It's among the best also that you can find on the flagship. I have nothing to complain. The processor is good, and also it has 6 GB of RAM. My unit has 6 GB of RAM. There is also a variant which has 8 GB of RAM, but mine has 6 GB of LPDDR5X RAM, which is a very fast RAM. And also the storage is UFS 3.1. That is a storage for flagship smartphone. So the POCO F3 kicks in to be a flagship, and the storage is very, very good, because even when I'm editing some of the videos from the phone, the exporting time is very, very fast, and everything that I throw at it is very, very fast. And as you can see, I'm using full screen gestures, which I have liked very much. They work very well, very, very fluid. You can see full screen gestures, and I think everyone should try it on them. The other thing we have talked about is the speakers. The speakers are very good, and they are of high quality. Let's go to the Android version. It has Android 11, and you should be getting Android 12 very, very soon when it comes out. And the MIUI is, just as I said, is 12.5.4, is the latest from Xiaomi. And for those that are not aware, POCO is a sub-brand under the umbrella of Xiaomi. So everything here just is like the Xiaomi smartphone, that is the Redmi and Mi. Yes, but the UI is just tweaked a bit to POCO. So everything is from Xiaomi. So the performance, just as I said about the processor, I will also post the screenshots of the performance results here, which is very, very good. Is a Snapdragon 875G processor with a maximum clock speed of up to 3.2 gigahertz, which is very, very fast. So the other thing that I would like to mention is about the camera, and the camera has a lot to offer here. So this is the interface for the camera. You can see it. There is a lot of mode. You have the Pro, Video, and Portrait there. You have also the More, which include night, and you also have the 48MP mode, short video, panorama, document, vlog, time-lapse, movies, and a lot, dual video, and a lot of them. This is similar to the Mi 11 Ultra, and also the flagship from Xiaomi, the Mi 11 and Mi 11 Ultra. It also has the same camera interface. The only thing that the camera does not have is a proper zoom camera or a telephoto camera. I wish it had a telephoto camera instead of a macro. I really don't think macro is so necessary, because it can be achieved by this ultra wide camera. So I wish it had a telephoto camera to zoom in, but anyhow the camera is very good. Just as I said at the beginning of the video, this is a main 48 megapixel IMX582 f1.8, and this one is an ultra wide that is 8 megapixel Sony IMX3555 with f2.2. And something to note is that all these cameras support night mode, and they also support electronic image stabilization apart from the macro. Even the front camera supports electronic image stabilization. That is very, very good. But I wish there was a bit of optical image stabilization. It would make it even more better. But at least you have the electronic image stabilization. In this macro camera, you have an option. It is a telemacro camera, meaning the f2.4, meaning that it can shoot at 3 and 7 centimeter distance, which makes a very good close-up. But you must be very careful because sometimes the images come out very blurry because this one does not have stabilization or even autofocus. And also the front camera is a 20 megapixel, and as said is that it supports image stabilization. The video output here is 1080 at 1080 at 30 fps and 60 fps, and the main is 4K 30, 1080 30, and the ultra wide is 1080 at 30 fps. And the macro can also shoot a video. I'll show you at the video. It can shoot at 1080, but you must be very, very steady because the videos take to be very, very shaky. You see them. So the camera has a lot of features, a lot of them, which I will not cover at this moment, but I'll show you a lot of images concerning the front and back camera. And by the way, it supports HDR+. So there are a lot of photos that I have shot that will give you a clear idea about how the camera is. And if I have to say it on my side, the camera is very, very good. It's almost flagship grade. It's not the best. I will not say it's among the best, because maybe you might say the iPhone and the Samsung flagships have the best, but it's up there too. And to perform very, very well. So let me show you a lot of photos and videos using the rear and the front cameras, and then you can see and get the idea of how the camera is. Just check them out. So these are the images from the front facing camera, and you can see with good lighting conditions the images are very, very good. Background blur is also very good, as you can see on those images from the front facing camera. More images, that one is with the depth or the bokeh effect, and you can also see that one is also on a daytime with a very good background effect. That one is some of the filters from the front facing camera. You have a lot of filters, as you can see on those images. There are a lot to tweak on. That one is color point, where the background is in black and white and the subject is in color. That one is also some of the filters for the front camera. More filters which will make your pictures look very nice. You have very many options to set to make the pictures look at what you want. More pictures from the front facing camera. You can see the images are very good. More images with some of the filters with the camera. Also that image is with the background bokeh. More filters from the front facing camera. More filters, and as you can see on those images, they look sharp enough and they are good. The camera is a 20 megapixel shooter, and you can see that there are a lot of effects to play with. I cannot show you all of them, but you can see on those images that the effects are very good. You have a lot to tweak on, which you can edit a lot. Those are some of the images, and to get this, you can also edit even after you take a photo or the photo. So these images I edited even after taking the photo, and you can also edit them direct when taking the photo. More images from the front facing camera, and even more images from the front facing camera. Yes, I promised I will show you a lot of images. Some of them are with the bokeh effect, and the background blur separation is very good. More with the bokeh effect. This one was an evening, and as you can see the image came out very good, and it was about to rain, and you can see that one is a background blur effect. The subject separation is very good. That one was also an example of that evening, which was about to rain. More images from the front camera, and you can see that the subject is very, very good separated from the background. and you can edit a lot. There is a lot of camera related features to edit here. There are a lot of them here, and as you can see also on that images, these are the images from the back camera, and as you can see the image is very good. It's a 48 megapixel, but the images come out in 12 megapixel due to pixel binning. That one was also from the back camera. That one was also from the back camera, and as you can see, it was during the daytime. The images were very good. That was with the 2x zoom. This is a digital zoom. You don't have an option for optical. This one is also a 2x zoom. That one was a 5x zoom, which I will not suggest you to go because there is no telephoto. That one was also a 5x zoom, which does not look nice. This one was a normal image during the daytime, and you can see the image is very good. That one was with the 2x digital zoom. There is no optical zoom because there is no telephoto. 2x digital zoom is not bad, it's good, but don't go beyond 2. That one was with the 5x zoom, which I will not use. This one was a normal daylight photo, which looks good enough, and this one was the main camera also. The daylight photo looks very good. More daylight photo, you can see it very good and very good. More daylight photo, the image come out very good. The 12 megapixel, the 48 megapixel is producing very good images, as you can see. And these are different times of the day, and in good lighting condition you can see that it was working very good. You can see it, and you can see that one was also on the bare ground, and that one was very good produced. I would not take, you can also take the image in full 48 megapixel, but there is no difference. There is no difference because the image of 48 would be very much large. So take the default mode and the image will look very good. And more images from the back camera. This is a 48 megapixel. This one was in the evening, and it was about to rain, and as you can see the image came out very good. Yes, more images. You see that came out a bit blurry, and you can see that the image came out also very good. Yes, so more images. You can see this one was in the evening too, and as you can see the image came out very good and very nice. So you can see it for yourself. More images from the back camera. This is a 48 megapixel Sony IMX F587 sensor. It came out very good. That one also was from the back camera. These are the ultra wide images, and as you can see they are wide enough. This is an 8 megapixel sensor, which is very good. So now here comes the macro. You must be very keen because the macro, you have 3 and 7 centimeter distance. You must take have very good cut, because if you don't put the camera well, you might lose focus, as you can see in most of the images. But if you catch the camera very well, the images come out very good, because a 5 megapixel camera is good, because many smartphones are offering 2 megapixel, which is very poor. But 5 megapixel is good for macro images. Not so useful, but if you need it, you can see the 2 megapixel image is very good. You can see it, and just as I said, that if you don't take the image very well, the image will come out very blurry. So you must be very careful so that the image will come out good. If it come out, if you have a tripod, you can use it and it will make the image very good. So more images from the macro camera. It's a 5 megapixel Samsung sensor, and as you can see the image come out very good. In good lighting condition it come out very good, but unfortunately it does not have stabilization like the other two cameras. More images from the macro camera. You can see it's very good. More images from the macro camera. Some are taken at 3 centimeters and some at 7 centimeter range, and you can see them. They are very good images, and you can see I try to make to be very steady, and as you can see they are very good. Recording this video with the POCO F3 front camera, and it's captured 1080 at 30 fps, and you have an option of 60 fps, and you get electronic image stabilization. Recording this video with the front facing camera of the POCO F3. Recording this video from the back camera of the POCO F3 using the main camera. Recording this video with the back camera of the POCO F3 using the back camera, and the video is at 4K at 30 FPS with EIS on. Recording this video with the back camera of the POCO F3 using the ultra wide camera, and it is capped at 1080 at 30 FPS. The audio is also been recorded using the camera, and also has electronic image stabilization. So this sample video from the macro. I was saying is that if you are not very keen, the video will be very shaky because it has no. I wish POCO provided at least EIS. So if you really need to take a video, by the way it's on 1080. If you really need to take a macro camera, you can do it with a 5 megapixel macro camera. As you get, yes, sometimes most of the part that is there you can use. Yes, that is macro camera. As you saw the images, you agree with me that the images are very good. In good lighting conditions, the images are excellent. Even in the dark, the images are also very good. And just considering a $300 price point, or around 35,000 to 45,000 Kenya shilling, I think you will agree with me that this is the best phone to buy at around 35,000. Because it will offer you the best. It will offer you the best that flagship smartphones are offering at over 3 times that price, or over two times and over 3 times that price point. So it's the best smartphone. There are a lot of companies that are trying to bring smartphone on that $300 price, but if you check the specs, they are just underrated. They are just exaggerated specs. So I think this is the best if you have to offer. They are available at Jumia and also Xiaomi outlets throughout the country, and it's among the best. Some of the things that I don't like about the smartphone is that there is no 3.5mm headphone jack. So in that, you have to use this dongle every time. This one here, you have to use this one every time. I wish they just included the 3.5mm headphone jack. The other thing is that there is no expansion for the memory card. So if you want an expansion for your memory card, it is not available. And also another thing that I need to point out, I wish it had a physical LED notification, because I've been used to that a lot, but unfortunately it is not available. So apart from that, and before I end up, I forgot to mention about the battery. It's a 4520 mAh battery, which is very good. It have been taking around it have been having an SOT of between 4 to 5 and even to 6 screen on time. And please note that in that it have been on full 120 Hz refresh rate, and I've been using it thoroughly because I'm a heavy user. So the battery will last a typical user a full day, and even if you are not a busy or a typical heavy user, it will last you 2 days or 1.5 days. It will last you that, which is very good. And topping it up, there is no prep, because you have this 33-watt fast charger, which will give will charge the smartphone from 0 to 100 in less than an hour. It takes around 55 minutes, and in 30 minutes you have a lot of charge, which will last you a lot of time. So charging is no problem, and the battery will last a long time. And if you don't prefer the 120 Hz refresh, which I don't think anybody would not want to use, the battery will last longer, but at least it will last a full working day, which is very good. I'm liking that very much. So let me answer the question that I asked earlier. Does this qualify to be a flagship killer? And the answer is yes. It is a flagship killer because it ticks all the lines, most point of the flagship. One, is a flagship processor, the Snapdragon 870. Number 2 is that it has the storage for flagship smartphones, that is the UFS 3.1, and also RAM is LPDDR5, which is also used with the flagship smartphones. The camera is also flagship level because it has a lot of modes. You can have a lot of editing, you can edit a lot, and as you saw on the images, you can edit with the native built-in gallery app here. You can edit your videos and photos a lot. So the camera is also flagship grade. The battery is also good, and the charging is also flagship grade. These are 33-watt charger, and of course don't forget that the charger comes in the box. Don't forget that most smartphones, the flagship smartphone, the charger is not included in the box. You should note that, but this one, it is in the box. So that one also, it ticks that. And also the AMOLED screen is very good. The protection is not the Gorilla Glass Victus, but Gorilla Glass 5 is good too. It's good too. And also there is no official IP rating, but Xiaomi claims it's IP53 dust and water resistance, which is good, but there is no official. So that one is an X, but it will survive most of the time, even if there is some splashes. The other thing is that the AMOLED screen is good with 120 Hz refresh rate. So most of the point it ticks up. So this is a flagship killer, and if your budget is very low and you don't want to buy those expensive flagship smartphones, just take the Xiaomi. You have the POCO brand, which I think is very, very good. You also have the Redmi. You should check them out, which also some at the budget level of a very good smartphone. And also I forget that the processor support 5G, and in the you can see that most of the time it's on 4G plus, which is very good. Something I would wish Xiaomi to push out is VoLTE, which is voice over LTE. It's not available. I wish Xiaomi pushes it, because Safaricom are offering voice over LTE, but I think Xiaomi should push it on POCO and Redmi smartphones so that it can start accessing it. But 5G, I'll be testing it out when I get the chance. It's on very limited places in Nairobi. I'll be checking it, and if I get a good spot to check it, I'll test the speed and I'll tell you how. The connection speed is good, because as you can see on the screenshot, is that it is on a 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5, which is very, very excellent. Even on very high internet speed, the performance is very good, and as you saw on the screenshot, you can get very, very high speeds, very, very high speed without throttling, because the processor is good. So that's a lot. So this one is a flagship killer, and if you want a flagship killer, just check the phone and you will not be disappointed. So thank you very much for watching the video. It was really a long video, but it takes the lead. So click on the link in the description to get the armored case and the screen protectors for the POCO F3, Redmi 90, and Redmi 10, and more other smartphones by clicking on the link below. This really helps the channel and help it move forward. So click on the link, and I'll see you on my next video. Don't forget to subscribe.